Well, it's cold. And I think my goal for this movie is to stay alive until the end. I was going to make this video yesterday, but I said to myself, no, wait till tomorrow. It'll be warmer, I said. The wind won't be blowing, I said. Well, that was a mistake. It's colder and windier today. In fact, I think it's minus 13 right now, maybe minus 14. And the GoPro, as you know, being the most unreliable device in modern technology, probably won't make it to the end of this because the battery will die. And it's so cold that I don't feel like changing the battery. So hopefully we'll get a video out of this. And you'll be able to enjoy my misery as I trudge through Carbondale on a sub-zero Saturday morning. It's not just cold today, it's been cold for a while now, almost a week. And I'm not talking regular wintertime cold, I'm talking really, really cold. This is where the temperature has been below zero for quite a while. Like this morning, like I just said, I just checked, it's minus 14. Normally, it hovers right around minus 5 to 0, somewhere in there. So the last week, where it's been substantially lower than that, has made walking in this weather, absolutely miserable. Plus, we've had some snow, which makes my choice of walking routes a lot smaller. So I'm restricted to walking mostly in short bursts around town on routes that have been pretty much cleared of snow and ice. My usual routes are still covered with snow, and by now, many of them are covered by ice. Because as the snow melts and refreezes, it just turns into ice. So it's going to be a while before I can actually take my long walks again. I don't really mind the cold. It's the wind that makes this whole thing a miserable experience. Once the wind starts blowing, it's no longer fun. Walking in the cold, not a big deal. Walking in a windy cold, not ideal. I'm walking through Memorial Park now. This hardly ever gets plowed or shoveled, so this is pretty much what the town looks like after a snowfall. I think I mentioned in a video a long time ago that a lot of times people have this nostalgic idea of what snow looks like after a snowstorm. And while it does look nice for an hour or two, maybe up to a day, depending on how much you get, soon after the snowfall occurs or stops, it starts to look shabby. The snow turns muddy. The roads are covered with muddy slush. And the only parts of the snowfall that actually look nice are the parts that are never shoveled, never plowed. People just leave them alone because hardly anybody uses these areas after snow. Memorial Park is one of those places. I was planning on making this a walk around Carbondale in the cold weather. And that's exactly what it is, but it's a much shorter walk than I planned on. It is just too cold to be wandering around. The one sort of a paradox is that in order to stay warm, you have to walk fast to build up some body heat. But if you do that, you're risking your life by stepping on some ice or some really slippery section of the sidewalk. So you're almost forced to walk slowly. You can't build up any heat, and you get even colder than you normally would. As I often say in my videos, it is not easy being me. The other drawback to weather like this is that it really puts a crimp in the amount of walking I can do every day. I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but walking is one of the main ways I stay fit. In the summertime or in warmer weather, I use a bicycle, but most of the year it's walking. And I have a goal of about 200 kilometers per month, which works out to about 6 to 7 kilometers a day on average. And weather like this really puts a crimp in that kind of a goal, because I think I've averaged over the last week maybe 3-4 kilometers tops. So my 200 kilometers a month may not happen for January. I'll have a lot of ground to make up in February. This is the YMCA trailhead for the Lackawanna River Heritage Trail. And from what I can tell just by looking at this is that it's still snow covered. It's not covered with ice yet. So if it weren't so cold, this would be a nice walk. The wind has died down quite a bit. It is still windy, but not as bad as it was when I started. And I guess I should put this coldness into perspective. There are places where it's a lot colder than this. And the reason I'm so cold is because the limitations of my outfit. I'm 3 layers, shirt, sweater, and jacket. And if I was really gonna be out in this weather for a long time, I would need probably a better jacket or a warmer jacket and a different hat, and certainly a different pair of gloves. Last year, I think when I made some of these videos, I was wearing mittens, which are warmer than gloves. And I don't know why I forgot to bring those with me this morning, but I did. And next time I go out, I'm gonna have to wear the mittens instead of gloves. See if I can get across the road here without getting squished. Anyway, I'm almost back at my house. So I'm going to say that's it for this video, and be seeing you.